It's time to react to some of the top soccer headlines. Enzo Fernandez and some of these Argentinian players, but specifically Enzo Fernandez, he was caught on he wasn't caught. He posted it on Instagram Live. They were singing a song, an offensive song, a racist song, one that could be deemed as a racist song, talking about the French national team and how a lot of their players are not even they said they're not French. They're saying they're African. Their mom is Angolan or their dad is Cameroonian, things of that nature. And Enzo was caught on Facebook Live or Instagram Live, and it created a big uproar. And the French Football Federation actually are going to take action over the racist chants. They filed the complaint, deeming it racist and discriminatory. And there's a lot of Chelsea players amongst the squad that were angry about Enzo Fernandez after the footage emerged. You saw Fofana posting something about it, and a lot of the French black players on the Chelsea team, like Fofana himself, or there was also Fofana, there was Badiashile, Malo Gusto. A lot of them, they unfollowed Enzo on Instagram, and yeah, it's a touchy situation. He came out with an apology, and it was an apology that could be a little bit was a little not good. He said, "I want to apologize sincerely for a video posted on Instagram channel during the national team celebrations. The song included highly offensive language, and there's absolutely no excuse for these words. I stand against discrimination in all forms and apologize for getting caught up in the euphoria of our Copa America celebrations." Those quotes have been taken very harshly by some people, because basically he's saying we were too happy, so we're saying something racist. That's really bad look. But he also said that video, that moment does not they don't reflect my beliefs or my character, and I'm truly sorry. But yeah, it's an interesting situation to see how this affects Chelsea. The situation with Chelsea, Enzo Fernandez. I think Enzo Fernandez is kind of being a scapegoat, because there was a lot of Argentinian players singing that song, and Enzo Fernandez happened to be the one clicking recording. I don't think Enzo should be the scapegoat. I think this is an issue amongst Argentina in general, that these Argentine players should all be hugely criticized, not just Enzo himself. I think Enzo just happened to be the one clicking record. He probably wasn't even the main guy involved in making these changes and none of that, but he was the one clicking record. So I don't think it's right that he should be made as the individual scapegoat. I don't. But yeah, there's some issues. That's bad. And I don't want to go too much on this, but that could cause some issues. Lozano, he's officially him and Mexico have parted ways after their early Copa America exit. Lozano, he turned down a demotion to stay on as staff for the new head coach, but that's what FMF said in a statement, the Mexican Federation. Jamie Lozano was offered, along with the coaching staff, a contract until 2030, in which during 2024-26 they will accompany a more experienced head coach towards our World Cup, and later it will be Jaime himself who would retake the reins of head coach in the 2026 to 2030 process. And yeah, after analyzing the proposal, Jaime Lozano informed us that he doesn't wish to continue, and we respect his decision, which, that is kind of a slap in the face, asking him to be demoted for the rest of this campaign so he could so he can return on as a national team manager afterwards. That is a slap to the face. So he didn't want to do that. And yeah, now Javier Aguirre, he's set to have the talks with FMF this week to step in as the national team coach. This will be his third time. He was their coach for the 2002 World Cup and the 2010 World Cup. So, yeah, I'm gonna, we talked about this earlier. I don't want to go too on and on about this, but yeah, obviously he wasn't gonna do that. Messi, he's out indefinitely with the ankle ligament injury. He's been ruled out indefinitely after there was a test on Tuesday confirming that he suffered some ligament injury to the right ankle after the The club, Inter Miami, said in a statement after a medical evaluation has been determined that Leo Messi has suffered a ligament injury in his right ankle. The captain's availability will be determined by periodic assessments in the progress of his recovery. And yeah, prior to the tests, their coach Tata Martino said he would likely be sidelined for at least the club's next 2 games. With ligament injury, it'll probably be worse. When speaking of when Martino was speaking of this, he said he twisted his ankle and the injury is present, so tests are needed and wait for results. I've had the opportunity to see other images. There will be tests done to determine the severity of the situation. We are always informed through our kinesiologist Walter Insuralt, who is also the kinesiologist of the national team. He's very cautious at giving a final diagnosis before results are in. We saw Messi, he was tearfully exiting that final, and we saw the images from the bench, and it was a very, very swollen ankle. So it'll be interesting to see how much time he has to miss, especially with ligament injury. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Atletico, they eye Julian Alvarez to replace Morata, who has gone to AC Milan this summer, who's set to go to AC Milan this summer. Atletico need to replace him, and they're eyeing Julian Alvarez, who's their first choice. Alvarez scored 36 goals in 103 games since joining the Premier League. He's a brilliant player, but he hasn't really been a starter game in, game out for Manchester City due to Erling Haaland being there. And he's a very, very talented player, but he needs an opportunity to play more football. I think Alvarez wants more playing time, and Atletico are, they're going to make him one of the main guys. So I think it's a fit, and I think he can fit well with Diego Simeone in the way that they play. But especially now that Memphis Depay, I think he's a better version of Memphis Depay. And now with Memphis Depay departing, I think that'll be very, very interesting. They're also looking at Dovbyk from Girona and Alexander Sorloth from Villarreal, other players that Atletico Madrid have monitored, but definitely Julian Alvarez will be the first choice. And yeah, I don't know if Man City will let it happen, but it's, Man City, they allowed him, despite playing at this Copa America, they're still allowing him to also go to the Olympics. So maybe Man City doesn't really look at him as somebody that's essential to the team. They don't play him like one. So, maybe Manchester City will be open for this happening. So I'm interested to see Julian Alvarez and Atletico are able to pull it off, because it'll be a great signing for them, and I think it'll also be a good signing for Alvarez himself. He's going to be playing top flight football in La Liga. He'll be playing in the Champions League, and he'll also be playing a lot of minutes. And he's accomplished a lot. He's already won a Champions League in his career. He's already won a World Cup. So this would be the next step for him in his career. Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Soccer Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content updates. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad